glasses to choose from depending on what we want to get out of the experience of the whiskey. Some are more for, I would guess, just more on the tasting, enjoyment kind of side, when you're not really looking to, find all the flavors, all the nuances of a whiskey. We have glassware that's more suitable for that, all the way around to glasses that are when you really want to get the most out of that dram and explore the flavors, especially the aromas. So there's a lot of interesting glassware that's available on the market. We have assembled a small collection of it ourselves, and I thought I would give you a quick tour and talk about it. Maybe you'll find a perfect glass for the way you like to drink whiskey. So I'm going to start off with this one, very familiar to most people. This is a tumbler. It's a solid chunk of glass. It's also it's great for putting ice in for whiskey, for those people who like to ruin whiskey with, who like to enjoy their whiskey with ice. This is a great way to enjoy that. It's also known as a rocks glass because of that, because of the scotch on the rocks. A sort of a different variant of that is a thistle glass. This thistle glass has a small waist to it, and it will capture a little bit more of the aromas that this rocks glass kind of misses. Everything is a straight tube going right out of the thing, so it doesn't really hold aromas very well, and that's not what it's designed for. So the thistle does a little bit better job of that. You can also add ice into the thistle glass. An interesting glass. These are made by Norlan, Norlan, Norlan. I'll leave a link down below. These are interesting glasses. They're very interestingly engineered. This one, of course, you can't see through. It's sort of, I guess, for doing a blind tasting if you want, or for keeping the sun off your whiskey. But you can see in this one, it's a double layered glass. So they designed this with the idea of that if you're holding this glass for some time, that the heat from your hand will be transferred through the glass into the whiskey, and that's not really desirable. So that's why these glasses were developed. They're interesting. They're kind of an unusual glass. My issue with them, the reason I don't use them, because I think they're really cool, and I like kind of cool engineered things like this, but the thickness of the lip of this glass, I don't know how to describe it. It just doesn't, it feels like I'm drinking out of a beaker or something. So I don't typically tend to go to a glass like that. One of my favorite kind of weird, goofy engineered glasses though is this. Now this one is made by the Peugeot company. Yeah, you may know them from the tires and bicycles, I think, that they make. A French company. I think they also make pepper mills. Kind of an unusual business model, but they have this fascinating glass. The Peugeot glass has this indent in the bottom, and so when you put whiskey in it, you can hold this also in such a way without necessarily warming it with your hand, and it's very unusual. It has a nice waist, a fluted rim to it, so it does capture the aromas nicely, and it comes with some interesting sort of accessories. It comes with a nice little leatherish looking coaster, and also this unusual device, which is a metal piece that you can put into the freezer and cool it down, and then your Peugeot glass sits on top of that perfectly, and it will chill the whiskey without it diluting it with ice cubes. So this is the Peugeot glass. Very interesting and unique kind of a piece. Kind of, if you're into sort of like cool, weird, engineered kind of stuff like that, that might be something you might want to take a look at. I think I'll put a look, try and find a link and put it below. Another unusual sort of a tasting glass. I think they called this a distiller's glass. And this is getting closer. You notice that we're sort of narrowing the mouth, so it concentrates the aromas, all the volatiles that are coming off. It really helps you to nose the whiskey much better. You get much more out of the aroma of a whiskey in something like this versus even something like this. there is something to be said for, I guess, for feel and aesthetics of drinking. And some people really like to have that really chunky, heavy duty kind of thing. These are very fragile. They're chunky, but they're not sturdy. Whereas this one, I think, you know, could almost survive a fall, a small one onto a carpet. I think this one would be shattered easily because it's very, very thin. So something like this is, now we're getting into stemmed glassware. And stems is nice because you can hold your hand off of the actual glass itself, so you're not heating up the whiskey, as it were. I don't have that much of an issue with that. I don't think the glass is that great of a conductor that we're transferring that much heat into it. But I guess if you're holding something for a long time, my whiskey doesn't stay in the glass for that long. The other end, we have things like this. This is the copita. It's a stemmed glass, and you notice it's also tapered up to the top there, which concentrates the volatiles beautifully. This is a really nice nosing and tasting glass. It's very, very nice. Nice to use, and it's stemmed. So the only thing that I have issues with stemmed is I tend to break these things. They seem to be a little bit more dangerous. I don't know if it's just they're a little bit higher up and I can knock them, or just the fact that there's this thin piece of glass holding up all of this kind of stuff. So if you're kind of a little bit clumsy like me, maybe that's something to factor into your choice. On the other end, we have this little glass. This is from a tour that I did at Springbank, and this is another, I don't even know if this glass has a name, but it's got a nice weight to the bottom of it, and it has a nice tapered top to it, so the aromas are captured very nicely. Again, this is another type of a copita, sort of stemmed. This one is designed with a shorter stem, which I do like. It does taper to a very, very narrow opening, and this one I find a little bit difficult to drink out of because it's so, your nose is almost in the way when you're trying to drink out of this one. So the perfect, in my mind, perfect sort of marriage, the perfect glass to drink out of is this. And you may or may not be familiar with this. This is the industry standard, the Glen Cairns glass. It comes in a lot of different varieties, including nice crystal ones, and even these sort of smaller versions, including these mini ones, which I really like a lot for doing whiskey tastings, because you can just pour a very small amount in there and still get all the benefits of this. This glass is fascinating. This was sort of engineered and designed originally back in 1980 by a guy named Richardson, who started the Glen Cairns company. And he, Raymond Richardson, he started the company, the Glen Cairns Crystal. And so they made many different things, and the Glen Cairns glass was actually sort of reinvented or rediscovered by his son about 25 years later. And he found the drawings for this glass and realized, hey, this is fantastic, and the whiskey industry is ready for this now, and the company is ready for this now. So they went ahead with production. So the very first of these, even though they seem like they, I think you might have been around for a lot longer, these only came around since 2001. So, and they have become the whiskey industry standard because they're just the perfect glass. It was designed for drinking neat Scottish whiskey. It was designed for Scottish whiskey in particular, and designed with no ice in mind. It has no stem, but it does have a nice thick, heavy pedestal in the bottom, which gives you a little bit of nice weight, so you feel like you can swirl the glass around and and get the contents aerated a little bit. Perfectly tapered with a nice big enough mouth opening that it's comfortable to drink from, and also just to appreciate the whiskey on every single level. So lots and lots of different choices here. What's your favorite? I'd be interested to find out. If you have a favorite, let me know in the comments. This is our favorite here. We love the Glen Cairns, and we have a few different products and things that we'll talk about maybe in another video, that we can show that we can enhance the Glen Cairns experience and what that can bring to your whiskey tasting. So from all of us here at Love-A-Dram, thanks so much for tuning in. Happy glassware shopping. Slime.